Hey, it's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for Thursday, January. Can you believe it's 17th already? All right, got a lot of stories I think are pretty cool here. First, I want to dive right into one because it is new online saving technology. I've not come across another company like this one. It is a brand new company called Honey. It has about 100,000 users so far that have been able to save $109,000. You heard me right. About 100,000 users that have been able to save about $109,000. So what does Honey actually do? Have you ever been online? And by the way, if you ever shop online, this is you. But if you've ever been online and you're shopping, you go to the checkout, right, of the website where you are, and it asks for a promo code, or you see the little box right next to the checkout that says promo code. Well, you go, well, I wish I had one. And then sometimes, if you're really inspired, you'll go randomly searching online and see if there's a promo code that you could find that you could put in there. And then even if you do find like random promo codes online, you put them in there, they never work because they're like expired or something. This technology, this company called Honey, while you're right there in that checkout, searches automatically for you everywhere online to find an active promo code that it automatically puts in there for you. How cool is that? And it does it for free. I mean, that is pretty sweet technology. Very little downside in this concept whatsoever. And so this is, again, in its infancy. And they're actually looking for investment dollars and everything at this point, too, to try to make it bigger. But anyway, this is something that you would install to your computer. There have been, again, about 100,000 downloads. And I have not tested it out yet in a shopping experience online. I've vetted it to make sure that it's completely legit, but I haven't personally used it yet. Maybe I will sometime this weekend. But anyway, I'm going to have all the information about how to go through this process on my physical cheat sheet, so you can go check that out. But again, the company, it's Honey. All right. New foreclosure activity hit a 6-year low. This is really cool. When we take a look at the foreclosure data coming out of December, new foreclosure filings, the most important number of all, at a 6-year low. And why is that significant? Well, take a look at this. Our real estate market in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, the absolute peak for it was May of 2006, which means that by summer of 2006, we actually were on the downside. However, it wasn't until 2007 that nationally we saw the real estate market turn negative. Okay, 2007 nationally. And these are national foreclosure numbers. So if you go from December of 2012 back 6 years, where are you? You're in 2006 back to levels from before the housing bust began nationally. That's significant twice. And don't worry about the fact that it's December numbers, just because you don't get a lot of new foreclosure filings in December, because a lot of banks don't want to be the Grinch before Christmas. It doesn't matter, because they do that every year. So it's standard operating procedure. It's still a comparative number to the previous Decembers and the years before. This is outstanding news. And by the way, from the peak, new foreclosure activity is down 36%. All part of the housing recovery story. So very excited to see that information. Also, on the auto loan side, I've mentioned that you really shouldn't be taking these record low interest rates for granted, because they're not going to be around forever. And you even have some at the Federal Reserve, they're talking about raising rates the second half of this year. Don't take this stuff for granted. Here's one more indication that the action is good, and not just on mortgages. We last week just set an all-time new low for auto loans. It's the first time we've ever had the average new and used car auto loan rate be under 5%. The average new car auto loan rate about 4.1 to 4.2%. The average loan rate on a used car was a remarkable 4.7%. So we're in that sweet spot right now to where if you want a auto loan, the odds are you're going to get a rate that is going to be among the best averages that we've ever seen. Of course, you have plenty of dealers on new cars that are incentivizing as low as 0% financing. Today's question from you, should I be reinvesting in stocks? Received a note from a woman who heard me talking about dividends being the composition of 2/3 of all of the stock market returns historically. That is true. And she was wondering if she's invested in dividend yielding companies, should she be reinvesting those dividends into the stocks? And the answer is going to be something that you should probably talk over with your financial advisor. But I do. What I'll tell you, one of my favorite investment strategies, and there are a lot of ways to get from here to there, and this can be a piece of the puzzle, but you can own stocks into retirement. Remember, I've got one premise for the base of a retirement plan, and that is a mortgage is not a retirement plan. That's number one. From there are a lot of different ways that you can build your investment puzzle. And I don't want to give one-size-fits-all information because that's not a good way to go about it. But part of an investment strategy that for retirement purposes that I build, that I help execute, and that we use in part is one that includes reinvesting dividends and then turning those reinvestments off when you're ready to utilize the income. So here's what you do. You'd have your portfolio of dividend yielding stocks. You would reinvest those dividends automatically and freely. There are plenty of companies that do that. The best overall program that I found is Fidelity's for reinvestment. You allow those dividends to reinvest for hopefully years and years and years, making sure that you're minding the store and making sure that if there are companies that you need to get out of, you do, but you don't just set it and forget it. But anyway, then let's say that you are ready to retire. My other principle is that you should not engage in principal reduction in retirement. Because what happens if you live longer than you thought, or if you have extra expenses and you've utilized all of your principal? That's a really bad way to go out. So you then, rather than you reducing principal, you undo the automatic reinvestment on those dividend yielding companies, and then you collect those checks, and that becomes your income along with your Social Security supplement. That is one of my favorite retirement strategies. It can be a piece of it. Talk it over with your financial advisor. So depending on your specific financial setting, the answer is absolutely. I'm a huge fan of dividend reinvestment. That is a cheat sheet for today. Enjoy yours, and we will see you tomorrow.